They got a good. Tomlin can win, and he's got a quarterback at least for this year.
Well, I think that you need to stack. Okay, so let's be honest. Is Aaron Rodgers playing better than they've had the quarterback position, than the play they've gotten out of the quarterback position? Of course, absolutely. But it's not like he's been lighting people up. I'll use Flacco again. Flacco's throwing for 400 and something yards, 40, 30 points every game. Yeah, it's like the Steelers aren't doing that, right? And they haven't made a move, at least not yet today, for another wide receiver to complement DK Metcalf. So the offense is playing fine, but it's not playing like, oh my goodness, lights out. The defense has been terrible. Played very well against the Colts this past.
It's his process. I also think it's extremely obvious that Kevin Stefanski doesn't mess with Shedeur Sanders the way the outside public believes that he should. When you think about this process, it feels that Kevin Stefanski wasn't ready to draft Shedeur Sanders, and then upon drafting him, he didn't put a plan in place to handle the person. You have to understand with Shedeur Sanders is going to come more media attention, more scrutiny. He's going to be treated unlike anything else in that locker room or anything else we see in the...
Something wild is cooking in Cleveland again. The Browns front office just dropped hints about a massive shakeup, and fans are melting down faster than ice cream on asphalt in July. Nobody really knows what's coming. But if history's any clue, it's about to be part brilliance, part disaster, and pure chaos. Whatever's brewing could flip the whole season. Or blow up before it even starts. You ever wake up, check your phone, and instantly know something's wrong before you even unlock it? That's what being a Browns fan feels like this week. You can just sense it. The front office did something again. Not smart, not bold. Just that classic Cleveland move that screams, we didn't think this through. Because in Cleveland, off-season madness doesn't end. It just grabs a coffee between disasters.
What he can do over a period of time, knowing that there are challenges all across the board on this offense. I mean, look what Joe Flacco is able to do away from here with this receiving core the way that he has it now. So when you're throwing the ball to, young guys, Isaiah Bond and Jamari Thrash and some of these young guys, struggling Jerry Jeudy right now, it's going to be hard for any quarterback to look really good. Cedric Tillman is coming back this week, so that should help, because when you need to get down there in the red zone and to have a bigger body target like that. So I think
right now, the Browns are supposedly cooking up their biggest shakeup since the Baker Mayfield trade, and the fans are losing their minds. And not the fun kind of losing it. This is meltdown mode. Browns fans are basically running a group therapy session on X right now. Everyone's arguing, nobody's calm, and yet no one even knows what's actually happening. Apparently, there's some new top-secret plan floating around. Only problem? Everyone somehow already knows about it, and everyone hates it. Classic Cleveland. Leaks everywhere, results nowhere. And right at the center of the storm is Kevin Stefanski, the poor guy who looks like he's aged a decade in a week. You can see it.
That's a good one.
I'm not. I told you this 2 weeks ago. I'm not counting out the Ravens. I'm not
either.
They
still favored to win.
They look crazy with Lamar back. They look crazy.
But that's the whole point, G. Lamar is the best player in the National Football League, and he elevates everybody around him. So the Ravens with Lamar Jackson versus the Ravens without Lamar Jackson, it's two totally different entities. And at this point, all you need to do is get into the dance. Since nobody in the AFC North is looking like a world beater, why can't the Ravens win the AFC North, get in the dance, and go on a run?
I don't see why they can't.
His pressers look like hostage videos filmed in a coffee shop. The man's blinking in Morse code for help. He's stuck between a front office that can't decide what it wants and a quarterback room that feels more like an episode of Survivor. Stefanski's just trying to make it to the bye week without becoming the next meme. Let's not forget, this is year 2 in a row where he's had to give up play-calling duties again. That's never a good sign. You can tell things are wild when even the offensive coordinator looks lost, like, wait, I'm in charge now? You can almost picture those team meetings, half the staff arguing over playbooks, the other half wondering who's even calling plays. Somewhere in the corner, someone's probably Googling how to keep your job after losing to the Patriots.
Deadline Tuesday, and the Browns. What the heck is the plan? Is there a plan? There doesn't seem to be any kind of plan. Somebody leaked to Schefter a couple days ago and said that the Browns are going to be buyers at the trade deadline. Well, that didn't happen. The only thing that we saw happen today was that Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, a guy who's only seen the field, I think, 14 snaps, got traded with a 7th-round pick for a 6th-round pick. No actual help is coming for this offensive line that's inept, and no help is coming for this wide receiver room. In fact, Mary Kay reported earlier this week that the Browns weren't even pursuing wide receivers. What do you suppose the Browns do with all these 6th-round picks? You want to know what we've done with 6th-round picks so far? Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Honestly, it's almost impressive how Cleveland keeps finding brand new ways to outdo their own dysfunction. They've turned chaos into an art form. Other teams draft talent, build chemistry, and make adjustments. The Browns? They draft drama, build confusion, and make headlines. Every season feels like a reboot of a show nobody asked for, but everyone still watches just to see the next train wreck. Now, with the trade deadline hours away, the rumors are flying faster than Browns fans in the comments section. The front office is planning something big, but no one knows what it is, including probably the front office itself. Reports are all over the place. One says they're hunting for a new quarterback. Another claims they're doubling down on defense. And then came the wildest rumor of all. Someone said the Eagles were trying to poach Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett. The one guy holding this defense together like duct tape on a sinking ship. And poor Kevin Stefanski. He's out here trying to keep the ship from sinking, but the cracks are showing. Every time he mentions adjustments, you can tell he really means survival.
The Cowboys go ahead and they said they needed a pass rusher, and Jared Jones went and he got him a pass rusher. 27 first round pick, 26 second round pick, and their defensive tackle, Maze Smith, was able to get them somebody else from the Jets. Yes, the Jets are selling everybody. And when I say they sell everybody, it's Quinnen Williams. Maybe the second biggest defensive player on the Jets is gone, so now they don't have...
You can almost hear the inner monologue. If I can just make it through this week, maybe next week's disaster won't be mine. He's technically the head coach, sure, but right now he's more like the team's designated scapegoat. You know, if that rumor even has a grain of truth, Cleveland better brace for an explosion. Because losing their only stabilizer would turn this season from shaky to straight up shocking. Whatever happens next, one thing's guaranteed. It's Cleveland. So expect chaos. That's right. The Eagles made the call, realized Cleveland wasn't letting go, and settled for someone else. That's like trying to order a Tesla and getting handed a used Prius instead. And honestly, you can't even blame them, because when it comes to unpredictable trades, Cleveland is always front and center in the drama. They could trade a water boy and somehow still end up trending. But of course, it gets weird. Because this is Cleveland. Enter Shedeur Sanders, the guy every sports show can't stop talking about. He's young, electric, confident, and apparently now battling a mysterious back injury. In Browns language, that usually means something strange is happening behind the scenes. And nobody wants to say it out loud. And the timing? Brutal. The trade deadline's here. Teams are moving like chess masters, and Cleveland's just sitting there, smiling through chaos, acting like everything's fine, while their most hyped player is limping around with a ghost injury. It's like watching a magician make your team's future disappear, and you can't even blink. Shedeur was supposed to be the savior, the new face of the Browns, the one to finally break the quarterback curse that's been haunting Cleveland since 1999. But instead, here we are again, arguing about who's hurt, who's benched, and who's secretly packing their bags. Fans are furious because they've seen this movie too many times, and it never ends well. You can feel the deja vu pulsing through the fan base. It's always the same Cleveland storyline. Hype, hope, heartbreak, and confusion.
Shedeur Sanders is stuck in the Cleveland Browns organization for right now, at least until the rest of the year, because the Cleveland Browns did not trade Shedeur Sanders today. And it's a good thing for Cleveland, because it would have been foolish if they had traded a franchise quarterback, somebody they haven't even seen play this year in a regular season game. There's no way that the Cleveland Browns would have traded Shedeur Sanders. That's just my belief. I really don't think they would have done that. But Shedeur Sanders, to all of you out there wondering about did he get traded, and some of you wanting him to get traded, but he didn't get traded.
The front office builds what looks like a plan, but halfway through the season they panic and smash the reset button like they're playing Madden on rookie mode. Everyone gets shuffled. Nobody knows who's in charge, and by December, Browns fans are re-watching 80s highlights just to remember what's rough when local radio hosts start saying he should focus on being a CEO-style coach. Translation? Stop calling plays and start praying. They're calling it leadership. But come on, this isn't a corporate retreat. This is the NFL. You don't need a CEO. You need a play caller who can get the ball in the end zone more than twice a game. And that's the real kicker. The offense is a total mess. Dylan Gabriel's under center looking like he's trying to remember which color jersey is his teammates. Every drive feels like an experiment gone wrong. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 1 safety, and about 7 collective sighs from the fan base.
going to guess that the Cleveland Browns aren't going to do anything too crazy in either direction. Like, maybe they will sell some of the expiring contracts that they have on the books, but when you look at their current situation, they've got almost 10 draft picks already, so you need players. You don't really need picks. I'd look for them to make small moves. I know there's a report that says they're going to be buyers at the deadline, small buyers. They're going to buy small things. They're going to buy, maybe a project wide receiver, maybe a developmental tackle. Like, I wouldn't look for them to do anything too crazy. They want to try to replicate this Tyson Campbell Greg.
Every time that offense lines up, you can feel the anxiety through the TV. The camera pans to Stefanski, and he's standing there like a man watching his Jenga tower collapse in slow motion. Meanwhile, Shedeur is sitting on the sideline in street clothes, probably wondering what exactly he signed up for. Reporters keep asking when he'll play, and the team gives the same rehearsed answer every time. He's dealing with a back issue. Sure he is. And fans are dealing with trust issues from watching this circus every Sunday. But here's the twist. Some insiders believe that injury isn't what it seems. A few analysts are whispering that the back issue might actually be a smokescreen, blocking a potential trade. No team wants to gamble on an injured quarterback, especially one surrounded by this much noise. And maybe, just maybe, that's the Browns' plan. Maybe they're trying to quiet the chaos, keep Shedeur around until the smoke clears. Or maybe they're just too confused to make a move at all. Honestly, both sound believable at this point. And then there's Myles Garrett, the one steady voice in this mess. He's still out here trying to hold it together, speaking his mind, refusing to sugarcoat anything. When your defensive leader starts sounding like your team therapist, you know things have officially gone off the rails. Cleveland's been through so many quarterbacks, it's practically a hometown tradition at this point. Since 2002, it's been a revolving door of broken dreams and bruised egos. They've finished dead last in the division 15 times. 15! That's not bad luck. That's a full-blown system malfunction. The Browns have drafted, traded, recycled, and ruined more quarterbacks than some franchises have even played playoff games.
The Browns have a tough decision to make. Tomorrow is the NFL trade deadline. Will they make any moves? Guys, have to talk about the hottest story in the NFL. That is the Cleveland Browns pretty much carousel. This is a circus of a team, and as of right now, Kevin Stefanski is looking like the ringleader, bro. The man's looking hysterical in a press conference. He don't know what to do. He just lost in his his play calling ability, and in a minute, he's finna lose all his coaching ability.
Somehow, every year, fans hit reset like they didn't just live through another heartbreak. It's tragic, poetic, and slightly comical all at once, like a motivational poster that says, "The Cleveland Browns, proof that hope dies last." But just when you think the front office can't possibly make it worse, they find a new way to do exactly that. Every trade deadline, they dangle big moves in front of fans like a carrot on a stick. And every single time, those big moves turn out to be a minor roster shuffle and a fresh social media slogan. Cue the dramatic hype video, epic music, slow motion clips, and captions about new beginnings. Then game day hits. And we're right back in the same storm of confusion and chaos. Meanwhile, other teams are actually doing things. The Eagles are locking down their defense. The Dolphins are stacking more firepower, and the Chiefs are fine-tuning another Super Bowl run. And Cleveland? Their response is, we're evaluating our options. Evaluating what? How to finish third instead of fourth. It's comedy disguised as strategy. You can just imagine those Browns strategy meetings.
Cleveland Browns, y'all are lower than low. Y'all are some dirty dogs. You hear me? Y'all trying to trade Shedeur now after y'all done made all that money off of him? Jersey sales? Even though y'all gave him a cut, but make it make sense. How would y'all rather keep Kenny Pickett, small hand Pickett, who couldn't get the job done in Pittsburgh? You hear me? Dylan Gabriel, who not even tall enough to see over his offensive lineman, and his acronyms are CTFN. Can't throw for nothing.
One exec says, let's trade for a new QB. Another says, let's give the current guy more time. And someone in the back's like, what if we just pray harder? It's chaos meets denial, and somehow they call it a plan. And then there are the fans, the real MVPs of this endless roller coaster. Every rumor, every tweet, every leak is another jolt of adrenaline. One day they're hyped over a defensive stat. The next they're demanding a total front office rebuild. That kind of passion doesn't exist anywhere else in sports. Cleveland fans don't just love their team, they survive their team. But here's the funny part. After all the Stefanski panic, Shedeur mystery, and secret switch-up whispers, you know what's coming next. Game day. And when kickoff hits, every Browns fan will still tune in, heart pounding, hoping this is the week it all finally clicks. Hoping that maybe, just maybe, the chaos turns into a miracle, that maybe the new plan finally works, that maybe, somehow, the Browns stop being the punchline and start being the story. But history doesn't lie. Every time the front office promises a big change, it's followed by even bigger confusion. You could literally set your watch to it. They hype a new direction, and a week later, the team's still running last season's broken plays like it's muscle memory. It's like trying to reboot a frozen computer by yelling at the screen louder. And poor Kevin Stefanski, the man's trapped in a never-ending cycle of explaining the unexplainable. "We're making adjustments," he says. "Sure you are, coach." At this point, he's running out of synonyms for panic. The only adjustment left is adjusting expectations. Now, the front office claims they're preparing for a major switch-up. Translation? They have no clue what's wrong, but they're going to shake the tree anyway and hope something falls. Maybe it's a new play caller. Maybe it's a surprise trade. Or maybe they'll rebrand the entire offense as experimental football.
The second year in a row that Kevin Stefanski has to turn over play calling ability to an offensive coordinator. Now, with that being said, tomorrow is the trade deadline. We done seen big moves across the league already. None bigger than Jalen getting traded from the Dolphins to the Eagles. Now, word on the street is that the Eagles was targeting Myles Garrett. They couldn't get Myles Garrett, so they went with another defensive edge.
Who knows? Whatever it is, it's already driving fans up the wall. And can you blame them? They've seen this movie before, and it never ends with a trophy. You can almost hear the locker room right now. Players trying to stay positive, coaches trying to keep their jobs, analysts trying to sound hopeful. Everyone's repeating the same line. We just need to trust the process. Yeah, well, Cleveland's process has been buffering since 2003. This right here is what makes the Browns pure entertainment. They're unpredictable. You never know if they're about to turn the corner or drive straight through the wall. Every headline, every tweet feels like a new episode in the NFL's longest-running drama. Without Cleveland, the league would lose one of its best reality shows. Part football, part chaos, and always must-watch. So now the question is, what happens next? The trade deadline's breathing down their necks. Stefanski's white-knuckling the steering wheel while the front office is spinning it like a carnival ride. Shedeur Sanders is waiting, either for his back to heel or his next destination to pop up on the screen. And the fans? They're sitting there with popcorn in hand, watching it all unfold like it's primetime TV. Maybe, just maybe, this major switch-up finally fixes things.
The Chiefs trade their entire team to Cleveland. Cleveland gives up their first and second round picks for the next 45 years. What are the odds the Chiefs win it again? You know, it's winning a Super Bowl is hard. They've already done this team. If you're a real fan, the Chiefs want this. Yeah, what has Cleveland ever done with the draft? It gives Cleveland a chance to win a Super Bowl, and the Chiefs, who have already done it with that team, boring.
I love this.
A chance to win forever.
Well, like you have to take this deal if you're the Chiefs.
You have to.
Right? It's kind of no question.
But the Browns should do it as well. I think this is the most fair trade possible.
Maybe the Browns find that rhythm everyone's been begging for. The play calling clicks, the offense flows, and Stefanski proves all the doubters wrong. Or maybe it's just another chapter in Cleveland's never-ending saga of what could possibly go wrong. Because if there's one thing the Browns do better than anyone, it's turning chaos into content. Either way, you have to admit, it's can't-miss football. Because here's the truth. No matter how wild it gets, no matter how many coaches, quarterbacks, or new eras come and go, the Browns always keep it interesting. They might not win every Sunday, but they always win the chaos battle. And in today's NFL, that's a crown all its own. Yeah, the front office is hyping up a major change and fans are fuming, but at least they care. Because the one thing Cleveland fans will never do is go quiet. Apathy? Not here. Browns fans don't do calm. They do loyalty, heartbreak, and emotional whiplash like professionals. They feel every play, every rumor, every blown lead in their soul. And when the dust settles, when that next press conference hits, they'll still be there, ready to hope again, ready to believe again, and ready to roast their own team when it all goes sideways. That's the beauty of Cleveland. Even when it's a mess, it's their mess. Nobody does a meltdown like the Browns. Maybe this time, by some miracle or accident, they stumble into greatness the same way they stumble into controversy. Accidentally, but memorably. Because that's what makes this team unforgettable. Even in disaster, they're must-see TV. The front office might not know what's coming next, but you can bet it'll be loud, unpredictable, and absolutely hilarious. If history tells us anything, being a Browns fan should come with a free stress ball and a lifetime subscription to emotional endurance training. But that's why we love it. It's never boring. So what do you think happens next? Do the Browns pull off a miracle? Or just set a new record for creative chaos? Either way, it's Cleveland. And that means whatever's coming, it's going to be unforgettable. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Because with the Browns, the drama never takes a bye week.